Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a product review on this foundation by Nars. This is the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys click on the subscribe button down below, also that bell, so you get notified when I have a new video up. I basically do beauty, lifestyle, vlogging type videos. Without further ado, let's get into this review. Alright guys, so if you guys are new to my channel, I'm basically going to be reviewing this product based on my likes and needs. So I think it's really important that we talk about my skin type and what I look for in a product. So what do I look for in a product? I always look for medium full coverage sort of like foundations. I tend to go for dewy, semi-matte, matte foundations. I don't really go for like really moisturizing foundations because of my skin type. Okay, let's talk about my skin. So obviously male, have textural issues, have some fine lines here and there. I am turning 28 in the next few days. Ugh. I have a normal skin type. I have a slightly oilier T-zone. Again, I do have some textural issues on the forehead, notably whiteheads, sometimes congestions, just because my skin does get like that sometimes. Some forehead lines, which, you know, cause me a lot of grief. Let's see, open pores around here, like large pores, definitely need a primer for that. Yeah, that's pretty much all about my skin. Now, if you guys are looking for a short answer whether this foundation is good for those sort of skin conditions or skin concerns, yes, definitely very good. I love it, but you have to pair it with a good primer. But if you guys are interested in knowing my reasoning, my experiences, and just, you know, a little bit about me with this foundation, definitely keep on watching. Alright, let's go on to the Mecca website. Now, if you guys aren't from Australia, that's the only place we can really get Nars products, unless you go online. But definitely, you know, if you guys live in America or whatnot, you can definitely get it from Sephora or your local department stores, because it is definitely a little bit on the higher end side of things. Now, this foundation retails for $71 Australian at the time of filming this video, and Nars is definitely not a cheap brand. Okay, so they have a decent selection of shades. Nars always has a decent selection of shades. Darker shades can always be improved, obviously, but in terms of like light to medium shades, a little bit deeper covered. Alright, so let's talk about the promises, and let's start off first with weightless and long-lasting coverage. Now, I do wear thick makeup whenever I do wear makeup, so I can't really say if it is lightweight on the skin. I don't think it feels any different from all the other foundations that I have worn. In terms of long-lasting coverage, I do have to say it's pretty good. Now, I have worn this foundation with a couple of different primers in my collection because I always wear a primer. That's always a given, like I always do, because I find that foundations and just my skin looks a lot better with it, so I will use it all the time. I tend to gravitate towards silicone-based primers in general, so Benefit Professional, NYX Angel Veil Primer. Recently I have been using, where is that? The Too Faced Hangover Primer. Those sort of like primers, I really like those, and I find that they work really well with this foundation. And in terms of coverage, long-lasting coverage, regardless of what primer I use, I find that it's pretty much the same story when it comes to longevity. Around the 6-7 hour mark, I will get a little bit oily around here. I will blot, and some of the coverage will obviously fade once I blot, but it's still pretty intact. Now, in terms of the coverage itself, it does say it's a full coverage foundation. I wouldn't entirely agree it's full coverage. I would definitely say it's more of a medium full coverage, definitely buildable, not full coverage. My definition of full coverage is I won't need to use a color corrector for this, and I still do need to use a color corrector, which I don't really mind. It's just part of my makeup routine these days. And yeah, I feel that with a little bit of, I do feel with a light color correction and, you know, my normal 5 o'clock shadow routine and a few pumps of this foundation just on this area definitely covers it. In terms of the rest of my imperfections on my skin, definitely banishes like red capillaries, you know, a little bit of redness from acne marks. Like I had one gigantic one on my nose and like a dark spot on my chin. Definitely covers all that up, and the coverage, like I said, does last. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, I have no faults for this foundation's formula. The only thing that I have a problem with is probably the packaging. Alright, let's talk about the packaging. So as you guys can see, this is the bottle, very plain, very simple, very sleek. More on the slender side of things. My problem with the packaging is the pump. It's not really a problem. It's something I can work around. It's just something I have to get used to. It's the fact that when I do use one pump, it's probably half the amount that I would get from a normal pump bottle foundation. So let's say like this Lancome Tint Idole, this one would provide me a little bit more product compared to that one. That's just what I feel. And in my head, because I'm pumping so much more, I'm using so much more product, but I probably am not compared to what I normally use. That's what I feel, at least. So how would I compare this to the Nars Sheer Glow? So the Nars Sheer Glow, one of my all-time favorite foundations, which I've yet to repurchase. That one, once you've worn it on the skin for a couple of hours, it definitely has that dewiness that peeks through, and it doesn't look oily or anything like that. It just looks like a nice healthy shine all over. I've had a few friends tell me that it definitely does look like an expensive sort of like skincare makeup, and you know, it is quite a dear foundation, so it better show go. Whereas the Natural Radiant Foundation, I would describe it as having a velvety finish. Like the skin looks nice and healthy and plump, but it's almost kind of matte, but you can see that the skin looks plump and healthy, so you know, velvet, that's what it kind of looks like. If you've ever worn velvet lipsticks, velvet matte lipsticks, that's what it kind of looks like on the skin. Just really nice, smooth, supple skin. That's what it kind of looks like, at least on me. I would say if you have particularly oily skin and you find the Nars Sheer Glow a little bit too glowy for you, but you do like the effect on the skin like when you first applied it, probably go for this foundation. Again, I wouldn't say very similar, but similar sort of look on the skin, but I think it's a little bit more forgiving in terms of the oil. Do I think it's a good foundation? Would I repurchase it? Hell yes. Amazing, amazing foundation. And again, this was sent to me in PR, but I would totally buy this myself once this goes, because it's just, again, very, very beautiful on the skin. And if you guys have similar wants and needs in terms of foundations, then I highly recommend you guys check this out. Alright, there you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up the video if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.